Hello everyone, it's Mr. Cooper here, and I'd like to welcome you to our assembly for Monday the 15th of June. This is the second of our online assemblies, following on from Miss Ladbrook's assembly from last Monday, and follows a very similar theme, which I'll come on to in a few moments. The first thing I'd like to say is that this is a really exciting day for us today, because for the first time in weeks and weeks now, we welcome some of our students back into the building, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome the majority of our Year 10 students back today. We've done now in excess of 1,000 home visits to check that you're okay, to provide you with work, to provide food packages, and that is alongside, as you know, regular phone calls home, emails on a weekly basis. So we know you're okay, and we know you're happy and you're doing all right, but it's not been the same as having you in the building with us. So it's great that we are welcoming most of our Year 10s back, and I'm really looking forward to welcoming more students from other year groups back over the coming weeks. And I just want to reassure you that we will only do that when it is absolutely safe to do so. So as we move on to today's assembly, I'd just like to draw your attention, as Miss Ladbrook did last week, to one of the fundamental British values, the value of tolerance and respect. Now, as you know, at Bishop Young, we've created a culture, we have an ethos of tolerance, of respect and of love, and we absolutely know that everybody is unique. Everybody is a unique creation of God, and that our differences are absolutely valued and celebrated. And me personally, and I know this also is the case for you, our students and our staff, we're really proud to be part of a community where everyone is respected and valued, and where tolerance, where differences are absolutely tolerated but also celebrated. Now, when you do come back into the academy, what you'll see in our main reception, taking pride of place, is our No Outsiders plaque, and that highlights the work that we do and the emphasis that we put on tolerance, on respect and on diversity at Bishop Young Academy. And as you may have seen through social media, we've actually been awarded beacon status by Barnardo's for the work that we do in this area. So we'd just like to spend a few moments today focusing on one particular aspect of diversity within our culture, and that's LGBT. And one of the first things that you will see as you walk into Bishop Young Academy is directly above you in the main concourse our 6 banners, our 6 rainbow banners, and they're linked explicitly to the colours of the rainbow flag, and I'll come on to that in a moment. Out the back of the school, as you look out from the arc, you'll also see our wonderful Stamp Out Stigma mural, which was produced by you, our students, and again is something that we're incredibly proud of. It absolutely represents our ethos, and again the colours mirror the colours on the rainbow flag. Now that flag that has been used actually for centuries is a sign of a sign of a new era, or of hope, or of social change, and it's been used right throughout history in that way. So right back to the German Peasants' War of the 16th century, where it was used as a symbol of peace, as a symbol of the cooperative movement, and in Italy, right the way through to the Incas, mainly in Peru and Bolivia, absolutely as a sign of peace. And then most recently, as a symbol of gay pride and the LGBT social movements since the 1970s right through to today. And the 6 colours on the flag represent the different aspects of the LGBT communities. But the rainbow is also a symbolic representation of a variety of human expression in all of its shades. I'd just like to share with you some statistics, some shocking statistics, and you know, as you can see from the table on the left hand side of your screen, believe it or not, homosexuality is still illegal in this day and age, in the 21st century, in 78 different countries around the world. And gay people are still being executed, they're being killed in 5 countries to this day. Now, if you look at the table on the right of your screen, this represents the UK, and it represents children in schools within the UK. It does not represent students at Bishop Young Academy. However, there is still work to do, and that's why we're leading this assembly today. But as you can see, nearly 60% of students in the UK, of LGBT students, feel unsafe in school. 74% have been verbally harassed, called names, made to feel uncomfortable. And 36% have been physically harassed. And as you can see in the final, the bottom right hand corner there, nearly 17% of LGBT students have been physically assaulted in schools just because of their sexual orientation. So what can we do? Now there is still a lot to be done. And one of the easiest things, the most simple things that you can do to prevent this from happening, and prevent LGBT pupils, young people, from feeling uncomfortable, is change the way that you use your language. Now I'm pleased to say that it's very rare at Bishop Young that we have to pick people up for using inappropriate language of this kind, but phrases like "you're so gay" and the use of the word gay is homophobic. If it's used as a word to describe things that are rubbish or that aren't very good, it is offensive, it is homophobic, and it cannot be used. Now, what we do know is that often when words like this are used in this way, people don't necessarily mean it to be homophobic or mean it to offend gay people. But let me tell you, it absolutely does offend gay people, and quite rightly. And it's absolutely important that we never use language like that. So if you do witness anybody in school or outside of school making another young person feel uncomfortable because of their sexual orientation, by the words that they use, by the actions that they take, then you must stand up to it. Make sure that you report it to an adult, but please, whatever you do, do not just ignore it. And we just wanted to take this opportunity to share again with you our pledge. And this is something that we shared with you in January in an assembly. But it's really important that, and we believe it's really important, that it's something that is absolutely the forefront of everybody's minds. So firstly, that we agree that everybody has the right to feel safe. Clearly that's a given, isn't it? We understand that everybody, regardless of their sexual orientation and regardless of their gender identity, should be treated with dignity and should be treated with respect. We pledge to continue our work on eliminating homophobia from our own words and from our own actions. And we do not tolerate any anti-LGBT language or behaviour. And then finally, that we support each other, and we know that we can seek out appropriate help throughout our school community, but also we know who to go to and where they can be found. So just before I finish the assembly, I'd just like to refer back to some of the things that I said at the start of this assembly today. We're really pleased again to be seeing the majority of our year 10s back in the building this week. We've got really tight risk assessments, really tight plans in place to ensure that those students are as safe as possible in the building, and to ensure that our staff are as safe as possible within the building, but also on their approach into the building and out of the building at the end of the day. And those plans have been scrutinised and ratified by the Multi-Academy Trust Board, so at the very highest level. And we are again very excited at the prospect of welcoming more students from other year groups back into the building for some face-to-face teaching over the next few weeks. But I just want to reassure you that that's not something that we will rush. It is very much something that we will do only when it is safe to do so. So, in the meantime, keep safe and look after yourselves. Thank you very much. Bye bye.